You're listening to the Dirty Air Podcast.
Hey, let me hear some Skinner, brother.
It's in the face, Dillon. In the face.
I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't know how to party.
And now, here are your hosts, Chuck Bush, Jonathan Merriman, and Matthew Dillner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an exciting Monday morning issue of the Dirty Air Podcast here on NASCAR.com. I'm Chuck Bush. I'm joined today by Jonathan Merriman and Matthew Dillner, fresh off of a weekend in Martinsville, Virginia. Fellas, what a weekend.
Something happened?
Something happened. Stuff and things happened. But more importantly, we're going to get to all that. We're going to get to the Logano-Kenseth contact. We're going to get to four-time winning his 9th grandfather clock. And a little bit later, we're going to have NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Ty Dillon on the show to offer up his thoughts and to talk about some other stuff here on the Dirty Air Podcast. But first and foremost, the thing that everybody's talking about, the big rigmarole, and that was Kyle Busch spinning in one of the turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was like a grasshopper in turn 4.
Nothing
happened in Martinsville.
The wreck in Ridgeway.
Yeah.
The wreck. He said it really good before we went on the show. He's like, Martinsville, baby. He's like, good racing and $2 hot dogs.
It's perfect.
It's awesome.
It was awesome.
And before we get into it, thank the fans for showing up.
Boom.
They were rewarded big time in that race. I've never seen a rainy day, soggy crowd that, I mean, the stands, it looked like the sun could have been out. I mean, it was incredible. So,
and
kudos.
then it turned electric.
Man, I was walking through the garage to try and find you to game
because
plan.
I was back there with all the other electricity of all the other guys that wrecked.
Right. I mean, you had Keselowski in the garage after the incident with
And Kurt Busch.
And to see that Penske team go help out the 2 car, I was going to you to say, all right, so this is our game plan. We're going to get CJ over to you here with this many laps to go. You know, game plan. And then there was a roar from the crowd.
Jaws was stuck in the old boat.
That took a while to get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you stumbled through it, but it's good. No.
It was pretty impressive, though, because I went into this deal. I'll call myself out here. I thought Matt Kenseth wouldn't do it like that. I said Matt Kenseth was going to be sneaky for the rest of the chase and do it like kind of sly, and he almost did.
Early in the race, he comes up
him.
to him, and he didn't really move him. He just bumped him and
Moved him
said,
out of the
hey,
way.
I'm
Clean
here.
bump and run.
Classic short track bump and run.
Good old chrome horn racing.
But then he goes 10 laps down.
And then,
Well, it's interesting how he went 10 laps down, too, because you see the frustration mounted. Okay, because you saw what he was trying to do.
Right.
Okay, remember, folks, last year, he was mad at Brad Keselowski. I don't think he's a very big fan of Penske racing because Brad Keselowski got into him on that restart. Whether whose fault it was, whether Keselowski was pushed into him or whatever it was, from Matt Kenseth's point of view, he got turned and taken out of the race again by a Penske car. I think the toggle switch went, and that was it.
it's not the first time we've seen Matt Kenseth tangle with someone at Martinsville. Vickers he's had an issue with at Martinsville, and they've sent each other into the wall several times. So, I mean, in Kenseth, I mean, whether his quote-unquote tire went down or not, the 20 car pile drive the 22 smack dab into the wall, and I guess it tore up something in the rear end. And
Kenseth said, I believe it was on MRN maybe, his line, he had his sunglasses on, he's outside of the media or the care center in the infield, and he said, sometimes you're the bat and sometimes you're the ball. In Kansas, I was the ball. Today, I was the bat.
You knew it was coming.
I paraphrased that a little bit, so if I got it a little bit off, there was a lot going on. But the gist of it is, sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball.
Look, I think we would have seen the 20 turn the 22, but not drive him into the wall if Keselowski if they hadn't have made contact. But the fact of it is, I mean, Keselowski and Logano were perfect team racing at the beginning, letting the leader take the outside, letting them get in front.
Smart.
They got fed up with it. Kenseth was trying to get to the back bumper of that 20, trying to get to second place to get to the back bumper of the 22. And I think Keselowski was racing him hard, so he'd get shuffled back. But if he hadn't have wrecked with Keselowski and went a couple laps down, I think Kenseth would have probably turned Logano and not ruined his day, but just made it tougher. But things happen.
So I want to know, Chuck Bush, what do you think?
Man,
don't float around it.
I'm not going to float.
Dirty air. Let's get
grinning.
dirty here.
He's grinning.
But here is my issue with it.
Okay.
If you're racing for the lead and you turn somebody, that's for the lead.
Yes.
If you're 10 laps down and you turn the leader, that is
I have a counterpoint.
okay.
At Kansas, both of those cars were racing not just for a win, but for a championship.
Yes.
And that's what you have to keep in perspective. Yeah, Logano was leading the race. Yeah, I have a hard time accepting that a car a couple laps down turned a leader, but
it's not the first time. It's not the first time we've seen that.
It's an eye for an eye, and that was. I mean, a lot of people call it a cheap shot, but that's an old school short track.
It's
racing.
an eye for an eye, but I also think that it warrants a decision from NASCAR.
I think it does.
Because you can't do
I
that.
was getting text messages and tweets and stuff last night of people saying he should be sat for the whole entire 2016 season. Harsh.
That may be going a little bit too
a
far.
A race suspension? Maybe. A hurt in the points where maybe he finishes 16th? Maybe. But at the same time, what I liked about it, I didn't like the fact that they took Joey Logano out, but I like the fact that the drivers are policing it. Listen, Joey Logano fans are going to hate some of the stuff we say. Matt Kenseth fans are going to hate some of the stuff we're saying right now, too, because I'm on both sides of it. I think Joey stole his lunch money, took away his championship, okay? And he did what he had to do as a man to get back to him. Some people think that's chicken beep.
Chicken beep?
Beep. Beep, beep. That was my own censoring, because that's what some people were saying about it. There you go. But the bottom line is, if I was in Matt Kenseth's shoes, I apologize for saying this, Logano Nation, I would have done the same thing.
But you heard what as Brad Keselowski said, the man who speaks the gospel in the garage, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said after the race that I guess you don't turn somebody because they're going to turn you back. That's a paraphrase, not a direct quote, but
hey, his old man did it.
If you do it, you should expect it back.
Yes.
And
100%.
if you do it intentionally, you should expect some sort of punishment or penalty.
There is a difference between rattling his cage and ruining his day. But
What
Matt
he
Kenseth,
did earlier was rattle his cage.
Yeah, he did. But did
no.
he ruin his day in Kansas?
I don't think that was a rattle his cage. I mean, that's how you pass.
Did he ruin his? I'm asking you. Did he ruin his day in Kansas? In Kansas or his championship? Did he?
Well, Kansas wasn't set up well after Charlotte, anyways.
Yep.
But the emotion behind it, Kenseth thinks it was taken. Then you have the brake check at Talladega. So if you combine all that together, Kenseth thinks that Logano cost him a championship, and Kenseth wants to cost Logano one. I mean, I said over here and said it for a couple weeks. I don't think the 22 car is going to win a title because of Matt Kenseth.
I still do. But
Well,
if they can win at Texas, I think
They're gonna go out there, they're gonna do it.
That's what I was about
they're
to say.
going to win Texas.
You go to Texas, say, for the sake of argument, Matt Kenseth is sat for a race, and it's Texas. Logano goes out there, gets in the final round in Homestead.
I don't think it matters if Kenseth's sat or not. It's over.
It's over.
Keselowski Kenseth may not be, but Logano Kenseth is done.
Is done.
I don't think. I think if Joey's a smart kid, a smart race car driver.
So is Matt.
Well, yeah, but Matt had nothing to lose. Joey's got a title he's still in contention for.
But going forward, there are repercussions beyond this season.
Yeah.
If you want to shot for a title
sure.
next year,
Sure.
they're both smart race car drivers. We're probably not going to see this play out again.
The most impressive thing I saw, Chuck and Jonathan.
Whatever.
John?
The
Johnny.
most
Anything
impressive
but late
thing
to
that
dinner.
I saw yesterday was Joey Logano, after all the commotion and his team working on the car, he comes back to the car, and he had this look on his face where he wanted to either beat up Matt Kenseth or cry. He was emotional. Todd Gordon walked up to him after calming down Joey's dad.
Yeah.
And diffusing that and the leadership he showed with that and with his team to keep them together, and then walking up to his driver and putting his hands on his shoulder and making him laugh.
What a better
That's
place.
a team. That's a leader. Joey Logano is a driver, and they're going to make it into the next round. I say guaranteed.
Well, there's no better place for this to. I mean, Martinsville it's a half mile of magic. It's simple. It's simple. It's plain. It's flat. It's symmetrical. There's really, in the design, there's nothing special about it, but that's what makes it special. It's old school. It's just a short track, and that just a short track is perfect for the chase and perfect for NASCAR, and look what it gave us.
Well,
Beautiful.
It gave us an awesome finish to an awesome race, and, we're setting up a storybook ending, too.
Well, I mean, I told Dillner on the way here, he's a pretty cerebral guy. I don't know if you noticed his T-shirt or not, but he dressed
Rock'em
for the
Sock'em
occasion.
Robots?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
He tried to hide it. He was trying to be sly with it, looking like a UPS guy on the outside. But Rock'em Sock'em Robots on the inside.
Well, you know what? The bottom line is this. We're going to Texas. Last year, the emotions just completely exploded at Texas with the Gordon Keselowski fight. This year, the explosion happened on a short track. This is the chase.
Eddie
This what
Gossage
was
is
built.
licking his chops right now.
He's
He
done
is.
it for years.
But NASCAR is licking its chops in a way, too. I know they have a possible ruling that they may have to do here. And at the time we're doing this podcast, it's too early to say what it could be or could not be. But the bottom line is, as a sport, if you're a Joey Logano fan, you're ticked. But as a sport, did you see that eruption in the grandstands?
Dude,
and we're all talking everywhere in America is not talking about football or a little maybe about the World Series. People are talking about NASCAR.
I'm going to touch on football for a second because last week at the Panthers game, Sunday Night Football, I was talking to my brother-in-law. I was like, just once I would like to be on the field to hear that type of sound.
Yes.
And being in the garage when that happened,
wow.
it was literally the closest I think I will ever come. I think the closest any of us will ever come to being in that situation, that third down situation where you hear the crowd erupt and the boos and the cheers and the range of emotions coming from that crowd yesterday was amazing.
I used to cover college football on the field level, so been there, done that.
But that right there was a great sports moment. Whether you liked it, whether you hated it, whether you want to see Kenseth hung out by NASCAR and not allowed back in, whatever it is, we're all talking about it.
And it's a great sports moment because Jeff Gordon won his 9th clock. And there was an incident on the track that involved chase drivers. Multiple incidents that involved multiple chase drivers, too, because Kurt Busch got wrapped up in that.
Martinsville's a headline machine.
Martinsville's a headline machine, but we're going to go right now to a driver who has experienced a little bit of Martinsville drama in his past and some drama at some tracks this year. We're going to talk to an Xfinity Series driver. We're joined on the Dirty Air podcast by the driver of the number 3 Chevy for Richard Childress Racing, Ty Dillon. Ty, thank you for joining us this morning on the Dirty Air.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is a cool setup. I feel like I'm kind of looking down on into the fishbowl here and hanging out with you guys.
You've got the wide angle lens, and the folks that are watching on NASCAR.com or watching on YouTube can see you sitting on a lovely couch, or they see us sitting in the palatial studios of NASCAR.com.
Paradise.
Speaking of paradise, you had a couple of weeks off. Did you do anything fun?
I did. I think the first couple days after the last race in Kansas, I went out to Seattle, watched the Panthers play in Seattle, watched them win in Seattle.
That's a great game.
Yep, and my wife's from there, so her family's all Seahawks fans. We had tickets, and it was a
Did you
great
rub it
day.
in?
Oh yeah, so that was really good. And then when we got back, she goes, "We're going to the Bahamas." So I was like, "That's great too." So we loaded up and went that weekend, just me and her, and we had a great weekend. Came back, and now she had her first home game cheering for the Hornets yesterday, so went to that. That was great. And in the midst of all that, we're moving to an apartment in South End, Charlotte. So it's been a pretty busy week for me. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I'll also be at the Panthers game tonight.
So you didn't really pay attention, obviously, to NASCAR yesterday. Did you watch the race at Martinsville at all, or were you too busy watching the
Hornets play the Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah.
I was watching the Hornets game, but trust me, I know everything that's happened. I know I follow enough media outlets and Twitter accounts where I don't think I missed a single lap.
So what's Ty Dillon's take after? I mean, I assume you've seen the replays and things like that happened on the track yesterday. What does a race car driver think that's not involved in that of what happened?
I think it sells tickets, and it puts our sport back to what it used to be and what made our sport from the beginning. I think it's just part of it. Controversy is what we're built off of. So I thought it was fun. I know there's people mad. I thought Joey did the right thing in Kansas. He was going to try to win the race, and I thought Matt was rightfully upset. But that's what the sport's built on, is going all out, trying to win races, and that's what our fans want to see. And if it comes to when you take a guy out of the championship and he wants to let you know he's still upset and he pays you back, that's part of it. So I think it's great. I think it's great for our sport. I'm glad I'm not one of the two guys having to deal with it today, and I'm one of the guys that gets to talk about it. So it's really good for our sport, I feel like. Everybody's talking about our sport, so that's always a good thing.
Well, the fans were for sure loud. There were a lot of fists in the air after that one. So,
has anybody ever taken your lunch money back when you were in school?
No, I would beat them up.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Well, being at Martinsville, like you said, the fans were loud, and that I didn't see it when it happened. I was walking through the garage.
Yeah.
And as soon as the crowd went off, you knew something big had happened, and like I didn't even have to see it. I knew what
You
happened.
heard it over the race cars.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So
I bet that would have been cool to see. I know I heard the fans through the videos that I watched, and I also heard them when Jeff won. That was pretty awesome. Just the fans' reaction, to see his reaction was awesome too. I think it was hard to keep anybody from smiling seeing that.
everybody at their water cooler or wherever they're at on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the whole week is going to be talking about it. But, we're also shifting gears and going to be back in action in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. You sit fourth in points, Ty. But, you saw Jeff Gordon win yesterday, and you saw that emotion. You saw that raw emotion and passion and the excitement. I know you really want to win bad. You haven't gotten a win so far this year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and you're on the verge there, 36 points back, but I'm sure you really desperately want to win.
Oh, I do bad. I want that worse than anything right now. And if that happens, I think the championship will come to us too. We're not out of this thing for sure. And I think getting into second place is just a matter of just a couple points for us. And then once we get back there, we're right there on Chris's heels, waiting for him to possibly make a mistake, and we can attack. But it's all about getting in victory lane right now for us. And we've really turned our program around. Ever since Nick Harrison came on board, we've been finishing and running in the top 5 every single weekend. If you do that, you're going to get in victory lane. We've had opportunities, and I would really like to see what it would look like right now if we wouldn't have blown a tire at Dover 20 laps in or whatever it was there. But, it's you can't go back, can't change the past. We just got to worry about what we're doing now.
And looking towards the future, well, tomorrow in particular, your brother is putting on a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and you're going to be there as well. It's benefiting the Children's Institute for Pediatric Trauma.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about that tournament.
Man, it's going to be awesome. It's free admission, so whoever's out there and can get to High Point University in High Point, North Carolina tomorrow, it's going to be at the Millis Center, which is the basketball gym there. It's free admission, so you're going to come out. There's going to be so many great guys, celebrities, and entertainers. Colt Ford, if you're a bull riding fan, Sean Willingham's going to be there. If you're a UFC fighting fan, Rashad Evans is going to be there. Brennan Gaughan, Elliott Sadler, and some more NASCAR personalities going to be there. And Brennan Gaughan, since he's the old Georgetown guy, he's got some of his buddies that he played basketball coming out. Austin's got a team. I've obviously got a team. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to be doing a lot of fun giveaways and raffles and auctions, all benefiting Children's Institute for Pediatric Trauma, raising awareness for pediatric trauma, which is the number one killer in kids, is trauma in the United States. So it's very close to us, obviously, being the Children's Institute. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're having DJ Silver's got a team, and he's going to be DJing throughout the whole time. So it's going to have good music, good entertainment. And I'm sure there's going to be some personalities that aren't the best basketball players, but they'll be able to make you laugh.
Well, who would you say out of the RCR camp, who is the biggest threat in this tournament? I mean, you've got a guy in Brendan Gaughan who has played ball.
Georgetown.
Yeah, I think his connections are the biggest threat. I don't know. I haven't seen Brendan play. I know Brennan's got some skill, but I'm gonna have to give him a little bit of talk trash to him, because I don't know if he's in shape enough to keep up. He's he's the older guy, but no, it's going to be a lot of fun. Brennan's he's the Georgetown Hoya, so we're all going to be gunning for his team. But I'm taking myself. I'm gonna ball up on these guys.
All right, I was going to ask you who you think's going to win, but you just answered that. But you know, as far as Dillon versus Dillon, I mean, are you gonna drive it through the lane and school your brother?
Oh yeah, that's going to be the marquee matchup. You know, he's a little short, quick guy, but when he tries to bring it down low, I'm going to stuff him. Man, I'm going to stuff him like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes.
I think me and Dillner are both team Brendan Gaughan because he represents us. Me and Dillner are both full-figured men. So
Go BG.
Yeah, so we're pulling for the big guy.
All he's got to do is just lay back and throw up the three, which doesn't take – it takes skill, but, you know –
Plus, if it gets
games are won in the paint. Games are won in the
yes,
paint.
it is. But I'll tell you what, if Brendan Gaughan gets in the paint and if it's hot enough in that gym, you guys need to pump air conditioning in there. Because if it gets hot enough and you get Brendan Gaughan sweating with all that hair, nobody's going to want to guard him.
Chewbacca. He's going to be out there. We're going to have, when his team rolls out, the old Georgetown Stars, we're going to have 4 oxygen tanks falling behind them.
Well, we're going to have, I think Jonathan Merriman's going to be up there with a crew from NASCAR.com. We're going to have Miss Sprint Cup out there to cover the event. So we will have coverage of this on NASCAR.com later in the week. It should post, I think, Wednesday after the event.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I don't think anybody really knows what to expect. You know, we go to all these golf tournaments that everyone does, and we wanted to do something different, and I think it's going to be a really great thing. And this is just our first year doing it, so it's only going to continue to get better. And we've already raised a ton of money for the Institute, so this is going to be great.
Yeah, it's kind of like our show, Dirty Air. You don't know what to expect, right, Chuck?
Yeah, you never know what to expect. But Ty, thank you again for joining us here. Hopefully we kept it a little bit entertaining on somewhat of a dreary morning here in North Carolina.
Well, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on, man. This is a cool show, and you guys definitely going places with it.
Well, thank you for being here, and you're welcome back anytime here on the Dirty Air Podcast. Yeah, I honestly cannot wait to see that video that you guys are going to post on Wednesday, or we're going to post on Wednesday, not you guys. But we're going to post on Wednesday with that basketball tournament. I want to see what Brendan Gaughan does. I want to see if he drops some threes. But you know what? Ty touched on it earlier. Jeff Gordon.
It's your hidden headline.
Walk off.
Gordon.
Yeah. Jeff,
Speaking of threes.
Jeff Gordon. Jonathan Merriman.
How can you put it into words?
I can't. All I could say was Jeff Gordon.
What we saw. I mean, we joked with Jeff a little bit in the media center on Friday. Martinsville Speedway gave him a train, a model train
with 8 boxcars.
With 8 boxcars. And I asked
representing the 8 wins at Martinsville.
And I asked him, I was like, Jeff, I'm sure Clay Campbell did this on purpose. There's no caboose on that train. What would it mean for you to get win number 9 and to kind of cap off the train, finish the train, get a 9th clock, and kind of set yourself up for a championship run in Homestead? And he talked about it a little bit, but you could see it in Victory Lane. I mean, we haven't seen Jeff Gordon celebrate like that in forever. He was screaming. He was punching the car. I think he hit a reporter's microphone. And then the moment he had
dogs
with his
and cats living together.
He forgot to do a burnout.
Yeah,
he was so excited.
And then the moment he had with his kids in Victory Lane.
Man.
I mean, the fairy tale that you've been talking about all season long, and we've kind of been giving you stuff for is all coming together.
But he's there.
We were waiting for that moment.
He's there.
We were waiting for that moment.
And he's good at Homestead, and they can use Texas as a test for Homestead.
They can relax and get ready for Homestead.
I'm telling you, man. And you don't want to crown him too soon.
No. But all I'm asking, and all I think NASCAR Nation is asking, is that he had the shot
it's set
to
up.
go out on, and it's set up.
Perfect.
And you know what? That's probably all he wants, is that shot, 1 in 4 chance
His
that
moment.
he could walk away with 5.
You think that's why the fans were cheering for Matt Kenseth, because they saw after that wreck who was in P1?
Maybe, and I tell you, even before he was wrecked, Jeff Gordon on the long run had the car.
Always does.
I don't think he had a car to beat Harvick. I don't think he had a car to beat the 22 or the 2. He admitted that in Victory Lane in his interview with Jonathan over here, but the race played to his favor. But you know what? The bottom line is we've been waiting for that moment all year.
Yeah.
And it happened. And you know what? It wasn't just it was this great thing, Jeff Gordon won. We saw things out of Jeff Gordon yesterday that were iconic.
Yeah.
Okay, in his celebration, in his passion, and in his emotion. And I thought last year when he won at Dover, man, I've seen this guy and been around him for a while. I was there in his 98 championship and when he climbed out at Atlanta. And I've seen some great moments throughout my little career. Dover.
Your 20-year career in NASCAR.
Dover, when I saw him celebrate so genuinely with his family, with his kids, for the first time, really, really soaking that in with the children. To see last night, it just topped it all.
Well, and I would throw Indy in there from last year. That win
But this one,
and he said
this
it
is
in
a
Victory Lane.
defining moment in Jeff Gordon's career.
He
in a way.
said it in Victory Lane that Martinsville was special.
Yes.
Before, but now
Well, it means a lot to that organization.
it's even more. Yeah.
But I mean, I've got cold chills thinking about it. I mean, we sat there and potentially that set him up for maybe his 5th title. So I mean, we're there for
maybe
history.
his final victory. You never know.
But after his interview with us in Victory Lane, he went. When have you ever seen Jeff Gordon's go into the stands?
That was
in
nobody was. Not many people were there.
No,
and I
there
think
were-
we were the only cameras really to catch that.
I think there was maybe one
video
other
cameras.
behind you.
It was a Hendricks social team was with us, but to see Jeff Gordon, like you
celebrate
said,
with every fan that
he
was
went
on the
through
front
the
stretch.
grandstands and high-fived, and then he doubled back and high-fived the people he missed. That is just amazing. A true thank you to the fans.
That was amazing, and one of the coolest things for me was when we're waiting on Jonathan to get out of the media center and meet us at the golf cart. We were sitting there taking a picture of a bridge. Says thank you, Jeff, number
Yes.
24 there, and this guy sitting in a truck looked at us and said, "You think that's cool? You should see what's in the bed of the truck."
Just clock.
It was his clock.
Awesome.
Jeff Gordon's clock, the 9th clock that he has, was in his in the bed of this guy's truck. He's been
ready for delivery.
He's been taking it to him for a couple of years. He said he's delivered several to Jeff. I'm actually going to post that picture on
I posted
Instagram.
it.
You did?
I posted it last night.
Well, I didn't because I had to drive back from Martinsville in the rain.
I did it before that.
Well, check
I
out
beat
Matthew
you.
Dillner's at Matthew Dillner on Twitter, on Instagram, or you can check out at the Chuck Bush because I'll
The Chuck
also
Bush.
post it. You can check out that picture. Jonathan, did you take any cool pictures at J Merriman?
Yeah, at J_Merriman. I took a picture of Jeff walking out of the stands with the fans.
The walk off,
I
walking
mean,
out of the stands.
That
It's
was
just incredible.
absolutely amazing. Can it be any more epic weekend for NASCAR with the drama, with the passion, with Jeff Gordon winning and punching a ticket into the finale at Ford Championship weekend?
I
With
love that it
NASCAR and
happened-
sports in general, it was just an insane weekend.
Frank Beamer
Yeah,
decided to retire.
The Royals
win
winning
the World Series.
Is
My
NASCAR
wife is
tie
happy.
there? That's not a sports thing.
I'm just happy.
Ned Yost is a NASCAR fan.
There you go.
Just happy it happened at my home track.
I am
Perfect
too.
place.
I am
Martinsville,
glad
Virginia,
I had.
love it.
I had a hot dog to start the race.
I had
8
8.
hot dogs?
I had 8.
2 a day at least.
2 a day, yeah. But
All the
I
way,
had
baby.
one sitting
STP
there. I
style.
was literally eating one when they took the green yellow to start the race because it started under a little bit of rain.
I went vintage junior and had 8.
I hope we experience that same roar at Texas, at Phoenix, at Homestead, because it was truly magical.
Well, real quick, who you taking in Texas?
Give me the 22.
Give me the 22, Joey Logano.
You know what? We're going to go trips 22, so 3 for the 22.
Deuces.
I think Penske is going to come out and make a statement. But for all of us here at NASCAR.com, be sure to check us out on YouTube. Look up the Dirty Air Podcast. You can search it in there. Look it up in iTunes, the Dirty Air Podcast.
You might
also,
need one of these.
Check
You
out
might
the
need one of
blog
these.
on NASCAR.com. Comment on stuff. Follow us on social media. For everyone here at NASCAR.com, for Jonathan Merriman, for Matthew Dillner, for Matt Strickert, Justin Beatty, Sean Brown's up there
That
too. Big shout out to Richard Childress Racing and Ty Dillon for joining us on the Dirty Air today. So, yeah, for all of us here, make sure you hop out in that clean air, chase down the leader, and we will see you next week back in the pack here in the Dirty Air.
No last word from Jonathan Merriman.
He's waiting for the sting.
Word.
Nope.
Word.
Passion.
Word.
Passion.